Underappreciated, undervalued, underrated. Those are just some common words to describe today's Westtown Chicago neighborhoods. Unlike Westtown Chicago's Wicker Park and Ukrainian Village, Smith Park, Chicago's Grand, and River West are three Chicago Westtown neighborhoods you've never heard of.
So here are the three neighborhoods right here: Smith Park, in this Westtown, Chicago Grand, and River West. And so we're going to first focus in on Smith Park. Now, there is really a couple of main reasons to live here. Of course, the namesake, Smith Park, which I'll get to. And you have right here at Western, you see that? I'm going to zero in. This is the Metro stop right here. And so within 15-20 minutes, as I zoom out, keep zooming out, that will take you all the way into the loop. Super convenient. This is why, as a kind of a counter option to the popular Wicker Park and Noble Square, which you have the Blue Line access, you can take the Metro, which is a commuter rail that usually helps people to go out to the burbs. But if you happen to work downtown, you can take it. Or if you want to kind of have some of that urban lifestyle, you can live in Smith Park and go out to the suburbs. So those are the two main reasons. But what I want us to really start with, zeroing on here, if you want to live on this north portion where you still want to get, this is Western right here, you still want to get to Sportsman's Club, you see here, you see Easy Inns, Bove House, the Steakhouse, really awesome. You want to live on the northern side because you want to get to that. Then I strongly recommend here, you see Split Rail. Split Rail is a new Mexican. It's kind of the counter to that Bove House I showed you right above, the Steakhouse. New Mexican, Zoe is the chef there. Excellent chef. They've got great fried chicken, great brunch. Totally check it out. And there's a speakeasy. You can make it date night, get some great dinner, and then there's a speakeasy called Dorothy below, where you can have a nice cocktail. And then basically the kind of opposite of that is Beetle. So right here, the Beetle, you can see right here, Beetle Bar, because, you know, over at Split Rail, there's no TVs. So I do recommend you to go to, if you want kind of the, you know, beer and shop place, watch some sports, have a Sunday fun day, go to Beetle Bar. But that'd be on the northern edge. But of course, you are going to be living, and I'm going to zero right in to the heart, which is the Smith Park. And you see right here on this graphic, you've got so many amenities to do. You want to take the doggo out in the park. You want to play tennis. You want to go to the swimming pool if you got kids. So you got families, you got professionals. You can run the track in there. There's a great track, but that's really where you're going to be living. You know, if you want to live in this area, folks, now, of course, obviously, housing, which I'm going to explain actually in a separate video, but please subscribe to my channel. And actually, I've got livingInChicago.net. You can create a search, and I can help you. Reach out to me because there isn't actually a Smith Park neighborhood as part of my website, but I can definitely draw you a polygon of what pricing is in that immediate area. But you're living in Smith Park for the park, for some of the great fine dining. There's also Kaizen, which is a Japanese spot that I didn't mention, over there on the northern part. You want to have access to the Metro. Smith Park is your option. So let's move on now to the next two other.
Listen, before we continue on both Chicago Grand and the final neighborhood, River West, how are you liking this kind of new feature? I haven't really highlighted this map feature. It's a screen share technology. Going through the map, kind of giving you my recommendations, being 25 plus years here in the wonderful city of Chicago. Are you liking this type of format? Do you want to see more? Would you prefer me going and doing a driving tour? I can use my GoPro in my car and give you a bird's eye view. Let me know what you want. Comment below. I really appreciate your feedback. I know, Shahrukh, if you're watching this, I know Gold Coast, it's on the schedule. Please trust me. Thank you for your support. But if you've been returning to my channel, please let me know. Comment if you're new and you like this. Please comment also. I appreciate the comments, and if I'm building value, subscribe to the channel. Let's go on with the rest of the video.
Chicago Grand. It is named after the second neighborhood of, this is Westtown Chicago neighborhoods, 3 neighborhoods you've never heard of. It basically is named after, so you see Chicago to the north, This is Grand right here. If you see where my cursor is, down where this output sports lounge is. You have Ashland to the east, Damon to the west. All right. So what is the things to do? You do have Forbidden Root. It's a brewery, restaurant, beatnik. Those are more in the East Village, which is the neighborhood to the north. Don't really want to focus on that. But breweries, speaking of, are the really hot options here. So you have to do so just outside. Excuse me. You have Great Central Brewing, great space. They also have pop-ups on the weekends. Check them out. Relatively new place because I just heard about this place, I want to say about a month ago. Okay. As far as transportation, you're going to be over here on the southern edge, right by going south. You see right here, you have, I'm going to zoom in, you have the Ashland, which services both the green line and the pink line. So what you're going to be seeing here is kind of heading out on Lake going west, okay? Of course, if you need to get into the city, as I mentioned, Smith Park had the Metra as its attractive transportation option. Here you have part of the CTA, Chicago Transit Authority. You have Ashland. So it's great. You have Ashland, you got the breweries, you got a great area. It's a counter neighborhood to your more expensive West Loop, Fulton Market. Let's go check out River West. Okay, the best for last, maybe. In some people's opinion, it may be. Before we address the elephant in the room, as I mentioned, that development, let's kind of talk about this River West area. So you can see here, why is it called River West? Well, you can see this is the beautiful Chicago River, and of course, right to the west of it is the
neighborhood. You can see right here in the background, we have the expressway
neighborhood. And what makes this really unique in a way is you have right here, I'm going to, let's get a really better look here for you. Right up here where this cursor, you have the Chicago stop, blue line stop, right? And actually to the south, you have, it's shaded darkly. I wanted to make sure you could see the boundaries, but if I zoom in here, you have Grand. This is a very, very busy intersection of Halsted, Grand, and Milwaukee. You have two stops. So of course it goes from the west going down towards the city. You have Chicago to Grand. You got two stops. So you can stay in the northern portion of River West or the southern portion and have that access to transportation. Plenty of stuff to see and do. You have right over here the Dawson, a couple of stuff I'd like to highlight. I do a lot of it from personal experience where I like to go. Dawson's great for cocktails, great outdoor space. So you got Dawson there. And so of course, Chicago Freedom Center, let's get to it. Chicago Tribune, this was purchased by Bally, right? And Chicago Tribune is still going to have a lease there, which I believe is 10 years. But there is contract language where if Bally's can't find them a place, or Tribune can't find another place, then Bally's has to pay up some type of buyout. But if everything goes as planned, there's going to be a massive casino, multi-billion, or maybe 1.8 billion here at the Chicago Tribune Freedom Center, just west of the river. You're going to have entertainment options. I've got a rendering here. That gentleman is the owner. Tribune, Chicago Tribune, there's going to be entertainment complex, of course, hotels, but that's the big elephant in the room, that a big Bally's casino. Chicago's been waiting for a casino. Indiana's getting all the revenue, and, up in the suburbs closer to O'Hare is getting revenue. So gambling revenue, we need to pay, right? Shortfalls, and that revenue is raised with gambling, however you feel about it, right? So you have a potential Bally's casino. You have the transportation. You've got great townhomes, condos in this area, some lots as you see. So it's a great, if you need speaking of quick access, you can get right down over, you're already down into like the River North, right? This is just River West. You're right there. You see Chicago Cut right there. So you're in a great location. It's just going to be a lot of traffic. As that gets closer and closer and that construction starts, you're just going to have to deal with traffic. So it's that trade-off. So I'd recommend not having a car, because you have the blue line access. You can take an Uber if you want to go out of the neighborhood keep the car wherever it's at and just walk, and it's a wonderful neighborhood. If you've got a car, it could be a little bit of a con with all the traffic coming.
Now that you all folks, you good folks on YouTube, know a little bit more about these 3 underappreciated neighborhoods of Westtown Chicago, don't go anywhere. What I want you to do is I want you to explore. You're going to see here a graphic. There is a link there. You can click on a playlist of my neighborhoods of Chicago. I now have them categorized in sides. I've been going through. I've got one more side to do. There are 9 sides. I've been treating them 3, 6, and 9. 3 separate videos. So explore the sides. Explore all the 77 communities and, of course, hundreds of neighborhoods. I'm glad you're watching. I am Anant Deoras with eXp Realty. Thank you so much to all my 351 subscribers and growing. Comment below any questions at all. I'm happy to help. Have a great one.